Hello everyone and welcome back to MetaHuman Inc. Last time we apparently started as a new manager of a company. So let's see here, February rolls around and you have your first formal meeting with MetaHuman senior staff. You take your seat at the head of the table, your CFO, Watson Q, takes a seat immediately to your right. Robert Leach, your assistant and the secretary of this meeting, sits at your left. We're undergoing some changes since the last time we sat in this room. Begin, Watson. For those who have not yet the pleasure yet, this is Xavier Song, our new CEO. Our second new face is Nemesis Head of Research. Welcome. I'm looking forward to work along with both of you. Professor Nemesis gives a wide smile. Thanks, Watson, for the introduction. You raise an eyebrow at the lack of formality in Watson's introduction, but you say nothing. Perhaps that's skepticism at these top-level meetings. Next at the table is Electra Jones, our head of security. MetaHuman, being somewhat atypical company of security firm, is rather more active than those of equivalent in our sector. Electra is our resident spy master responsible for anticipating or reacting to threats to MetaHuman. A pleasure, she says with a slight incline of her head. She is a slim, pale woman in her mid-30s, or therefore about. You know, if she was wearing a red dress, I would say copyright infringement. The gaze of her gray eyes never stray from you. You have the distinct impression that she's studying you. And last is Barrett Gullett. Said Barrett is the head of field operations beneath Electra. If Electra is the brain security, Brett is the hand. So he's gonna be punching things. You don't actually get invited to these meetings at all. I don't actually get invited to these meetings all that often. Said Brett with an easy smile. He's muscular with close-chopped hair. He seems very slightly ill at the ease in Hugo's boss suit he's wearing. But once again, it's a good opportunity for me to meet the new boss. As everyone says, Watson, let's go down to business, shall we? The first item on the agenda is mines. For Electra, we have two rival mid-level managers in HR, Stephen Hills and Ted Nugent, who've been at each other's store for some time. So far, there's one mission has involved breaking into each other's offices to dominate, haven't touched before, and that sort of. And you condone this behavior, you ask? It's rather de rigueur at MetaHuman, or if anything, it's always been seen as an effective way of spotting the real go-getters in the company. I maintain the facade that I know nothing about it, of course. So why do you bring it to my attention? Their efforts to attach are now sending into their private lives as well. Seven really hired someone to break into Ted's office. Ted was out, but if he had been there, he would have been badly hurt. How do you respond? Do nothing. Let the decision play out until a clear victor emerges, and then promote him or her. Tell their manager to strongly encourage her to resolve differences. It promises. We examine. No, tell them that they don't resolve, they're out. This breaker, everyone will go out of the farm. Fire her. Each one is by the air. Flip a coin. Fire the loser. Fire them both. That's in the much you can do. No. For now, let's just play until the clear victor and then promote him or her. What are we trying to go for here? No. You know what? Do nothing for now. A fine solution, said Electra. The second point is one of mine. Money is concerned, so I've come up with a plan to reduce overhead, but it isn't pretty. We're cutting in funding from Power Material Zero, but notable in the research lab. We're also limiting non-essential suspension, like things like the vending machine, staff office, common room, society for the rent, and so forth. I send your card plan. I just need you to sign in the office. Only cut the labs. No, go. Don't touch the labs, cause I want the research to be good as possible. If that's the wisest once, then I believe I can even apply the same immediately if this month's budget allows it. Okay, the company's gonna hate me, but from what I can tell, they didn't really like the old guy. This brings us to the matter of the monthly budget allocation. Xavier, every month you decide to spend MetaHuman's budget. Developing enchantments may be costly in the short, but will bring more money for the company in the long term. If you check your tablet, you see in the outline options. In game terms, during your monthly time, you have the opportunity to spend your research stat. Research can be used to develop new enchantments for certain stat requirements or be allocated to more general purposes such as raising current witchery or super science. Remember that your research stuff is fully replenished at the beginning of the month, you don't have to worry about certain points. Developing enchantments will hit money stream. The more quickly you can develop enchantments, the sooner you'll be earning money from it. Also keep in mind that you only receive this rating once enchantment is fully developed. Also, once fully developed, enchantments more vulnerable than 2 or 3 part of their own. You can check the stat screen out. Yeah. So we have no enchantments right now. We're more witchery based, which is what I wanted to go for. Moral is low, intimidation and image are not good. Mike, I'm gonna. I wish I went the other way and try to be more cruel. Consider enchantments. Hidden Laguerni. Hex of an Arc Servant allows the manipulation immunity to electric charges. Yeah, we're not gonna go for any of the Super Saiyan stuff. The grand section of emotions thing. That will allow you to control raw electricity. Senior generals. No, let's get that one too. So, yeah. Laboratory. Researching staff. Examine investments. You may, if you wish to invest in internal external property, real estate, setup, and so on, but this is not in your core business. You can only invest a max of 50 points per month. Any profits resulting from this will take starting the momentum of the event. Group high risk will bring greater rewards than low risk if they're successful. How many points do I have left? 10, so I can't even do that kind of stuff. Enable rapid. No show. Okay, so those two are there. Wait, do I have to pick them multiple times? God damn, I think I messed up. Shit. Okay, consider general. External. Medium risk. 10 points. Include the monthly budget. You said me included, you wish your cause a good day, and then you make your way to your office several days later. Electra visits your office, informally introduced to Ted Nugent, one of the HR men mentioned in the February summary. He has been killed in the car on his way from home. Any leak with Stephanie Hills, his rival, you ask? Officially, no. Electra, and unofficially, no doubt about it. You lean back in your chair. Well, as we discussed, Seven has ably that she has desire and drive to go far as manner to speak to her department and find a position with more responsibility for her. I'll do that, Electra. Then she leaves you alone in your office. You turn back to work and then a large smile. You suddenly have a feeling that underground minutes is becoming a very important. That didn't increase my ruthlessness? What the hell? February trudges along while work swamps you. Valentine's Day comes and goes with a nary of a flicker of months for the unfortunate CEO so tightly bound to the desk as you, but then as the month ends, Robert Leach reminds you that you have an evening on the 26th that is not your own some time ago. On your career, accept an invitation to a charity fundraiser and the homeless, assisting burning friends as sister has fallen into sure. If in truth, you probably get out of it, but it might prove a good opportunity to raise many human standards. You're really look forward to spending some eating good food and drinking wine. Surrounded by the rich and beautiful, it's fun to say of the famous CEO role that you barely experienced so far. Shopping has not been high on your priority list. Still, when you took over at MetaHuman, Leach took a liberty of buying a range of new clothes for you, high quality items appropriate for medium personality you are increasingly becoming. As you change your space's bathroom, you spot a curious marker just below your soul, just a little scab, hardly weird. It has a purple tint to it. You pick at it, and part of it comes away. The skin beneath is angry red. You stare in the mirror, then carry on. That's poison or something. That's a magical poison or something. An hour later, you're seeing the Batcave as you arrive at Minium. You're surprised to see that Electra opens the door for you. Electra, you're my chaperone for the evening. Only as far as the door goes, she says with a more smile. I'll be backstage much in the evening, just want to show my face. How thoughtful. Bear the team aside, she said, continue with the rare. Any problems, give us away. We have a pair on you all night. Are you expecting problems? No, but I prefer not to leave things to chance. Never do that. Never leave anything to chance. The Millennium Ballroom is a spectacular venue. For these so circular tables have been set up on the ballroom dance floor. 5 immense chandeliers hung above the room. The light they project dims to a tasteful level. Attendants lead you to your seat at the table near the stage. On the stage performing a pop punk trio, the new Sonic Bet Blockheads. You remember hearing somewhere that their debut album has gone platinum. Say your songs, you finally get to meet. You turn to the speaker. You immediately your immediate neighbor at the table. You recognize him at once, though you never met him first. It is Altsas, CEO of Silent Metahuman's main competitor. He is at the tail end of 30, you guess, though his face is rather boyish. He regards you with heavy eyes, somewhat pleasure on his handsome features. Just then, where it comes to the end of the song and walks the stage. How are you finding things at Metahuman? Asks Arwen in a sudden lull. I hear there's still no news of then. Not at all. Sadly, I left holding down the fort for him. The man, the thief, he hiding himself at the inner is probably a wise move. I'm surprised because I understand that the relation between the two of you was rather. Instead, we're looking for him personally. I hope he's okay. So, of all the people, Ironclad is my closest counterpart. There, but for the grace of God, go I, and so on. He stops, saying his strange, and then says, "Actually, I should play the past tense. These days, you're my closest counterpart." A stand-up comedian, Wildcat Severton, takes the stage, cutting off the conversation for a few minutes. Only half listening to him, you take a few minutes to glance around the room is probably by a various individual heads, a handful of European aristocrats, and an occasional considered rock star. You never met any of them before, though you recognize most of them from the business management or celebrity gossip rags. You do spot one person you know just a couple of tables away, a woman with sandy hair and freckles. She was one of the journalists who quizzed you the day when you made CEO. Robin Gulcher, her name is. You thought, though it takes you a couple minutes to remember it. Wildcat does 5 minutes of stand-up, including a borderline offensive impersonation of President Take. Wait, isn't that actually the girl in the other one? Robots? I think it is. I have to go double check that one. And then walks to the stage to a vigorous round of applause as he goes. You see Barrett Gullin, your chief officer, move towards you. Wearing a made-to-measure suit, he cuts a dashing figure across the room. Very James Bond. He shakes your hand and leans down so you can hear him. Just so you know, I got half a dozen people and a lecture outside, working generous friends. Set to phone vibrate. We'll make sure we make contact if needed. He managed to smile. Just a precaution, of course. Have a good evening. Ooh. No, that's gonna ruin my image. Let's talk to her. You find empty square squeezer and one of her meters nearer. Anyone mind if I elbow my way in here? I don't think we're supposed to switch seats, Dr. Song, Sir Reverend. We're all been assigned special seats. She held over her place card to illustrate the point. Oh, I think these places are pricey enough that a little seating flexibility is included. Call me Xavier, by the way. She blinks a couple times and says, "Okay, Xavier, what can I help you with?" Let's someone who you've been watching me on site for the years. What's your opinion of it? Let me talk. As a business owner, you've been observing my progress. How am I doing? Let's talk about you. I've been reading your work, and the tone is a little more Asgard than I'm used to. Last time I saw you, you asked about why the interest in him. Trishak, who doesn't love a mystery? On the level of professionally observer of business, they are partakers of one stealing $7 million from a company. Whether the thief truly took place, how it was allowed to take place, if so, and what measures of official or otherwise company will take to punish that. On personal level, is the story of a lone outlaw taking on a faithless corporation. That's the story that even an everyday member of the public can get passionate about. For a few seconds, you think back to your first conversation with Wantaku, but you decide not to mention it to Robin. Wait, so he actually stole the money. The actual old guy, the old manager, took the money. So you're so interested in writing a compelling article, you ask? Of course. Dinner is served while you chat with Robin, and you discover she's a very perceptive woman. She knows her field well, though you spot her tendency to be somewhat triumphant towards luxury and men and women that run, an unfortunate consequence of her passion, perhaps, and yet she seems to warn you. You aren't all as I expected you to be, she confessed. I met a lot of business leaders very well, and well, you aren't like them. He said, did it come on, of course, the route by which you arrived at your impression is quite unique? Maybe we should, Robin begins, but then the ballroom goes dim and the ending like. Let's talk about this later, Robin concludes. The ambassador Barrack friend and the hostess of the event is the French model turned actress Virginia Lopine. She stands in the center of the stage, looking absolutely spectacular, politely waiting for the applause in the room to die. She says, thank you all for coming here tonight. Simply by being here, you have already contributed a great deal to the Benedict Friends and to the homeless men, women, and children that this organization helps all over the country. And I mean, you help them financially. Tickets for these tables weren't cheap. A polite ripple of laughter around the room. Just in a pause. Oh God, I shouldn't have said talking to him. There's one man here tonight. I like spending just 20 minutes ago. I heard a whisper in my earpiece, and the journey has gone far. I expect any expectations here tonight. He's the head of Psionic, Mr. Aaron Salt. Please come up to the stage. I bet if we kept talking to him, we couldn't have tried outbet him. It would have so helped our image. But okay. Did I do anything to me? Moral. Turn to game. At that, Aaron leaves from his chair and climbs to the stage, a big smile on his face. Then he speaks in a Virgo's clear microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, my good-hearted friends, this world's a mess. Look closely at any part of this green and blue planet we live on. It won't be long before you come across illness, starvation, or plague, or overstretched resources. We live in a grossly unequal world. And yes, I count myself among the 1%, and members of those who are in part responsibility for such inequality. I am grateful for organizations such as Bedek Friends, who do a little to redress the inequality by giving all of us here a means to transfer a little of our good fortune that's come in our lives. I confess I was expecting to be asked on the stranger to all. I took the liberty of preparing a giant novelty check on behalf of Scion Industries. He gives a nod towards the stage when the assistant comes out with the check. You could see the obscene figure right on it. You nearly spit your drink. You know, not so long ago I was talking to a good friend of mine, Ira Cochran, and goes on. He had a difficult time now, but then, back then you knew him as the head of MetaHuman Company. Aaron agreed with me that both and I are phenomenally privileged to be in such a lucrative position, and that we both wish to do more to help the less fortunate. We already knew about this vendor, and he said, Aaron, our two companies are neck and neck in the business world. The best at what we do. We donate whatever you donate to McBurr, I'll match you cent for cent. Oh God. He paused in the crowd and gives a roar of applause. Yet you have a strange sensation in your throat you think was about to lead to. Uh, 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 um, 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 uh. Well, Mr. Organizer, I'd like to send an opportunity to honor the community, come on the stage and lead the homeless of America together. You stand and give your crowd around you a tight smile, and the game turns. You could match the donation. We'll make a one-time dedication of 50% to deduct from the balance. You know what? I never liked March. I'm gonna do this one. No matter what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna say fuck it. I don't know nothing screw saying screw Iron, screw the public, screw the homeless too. I don't know my head saw enough to give money away. I make a donation for the sake of developing. Can't match the runner, but I put up half of the thing. I refuse to be outdone by Aaron's son. I match for several friends. When extra opportunity to help the poor, I match Aaron's donation. I can beat. You know what? No, let's just give more. Let's not blow them out of the water though. You join Vigor on stage. Thank you for the opportunity to help the homeless. I will honor commitment, and I will add a commitment of my own as well. When you announce the semi join, the crowd cheers and claps. You glance at Aaron's, who master the world well plays, and then has to join you in with the crowd's vigorous applause regarding well. So that means I'm only gonna have next month 30 resources. That's not a lot. Hopefully I can make it work. Aaron does return to his seat right. He conveniently calls away to speak with some VIP in the another part of the building. Shame you had a few thoughts you would like to share with him. Evening goes away, food, drinks. It's strange when you're a million miles away from attending the events, you always imagine them as being far from more rock and roll. You mail to the parking lot in the front of the guard where many few of the evening guests. Taking yourself in your jacket, you idly consider calling a driver and telling them to bring it, and yet perhaps there's someone you like to see before the night truly ends, someone to head off with. Let's see what her opinion of what just happened was. You spell around first, speaking on her cell phone, approaching you over here, sitting and she trying and failing to book a taxi. Finally, maybe we should hire more drivers, she says, driving her phone. Need a lift? She turns to you smile. Actually, that could be really helpful right now. Plus, it gives us a chance to pick up a conversation from early in this evening. Well, if you think maybe we should return to my place, you tell her. My apartment contains good wine, even better hot chocolate, and a cozy atmosphere. All three things are conducive to good dialogue, I find. I'm not really a go back to someone's apartment on the first date kind of girl, she says. Then with that, but I do know somewhere we can go. As you conclude the evening with Robin in a nearly empty Late night coffee shop, the two of you talking to the wee hours about her family, career, about the social and economic concerns in Seattle and the rest of the country that troubles her, and about what she believes in politics and doing or should be doing right. After the two, you talk about your role as well, about the disturbing responsibility you have to thousands of people who now depend on you directly or indirectly, and the fear you have that you may not be able to up to the test. Glad that you can find Robin, though you met her just recently. She seems to recall the flavor of your life before, that is, your life prior to the day you entered the headquarters of MetaHuman Incorporated. Last time comes for you to go separate homes, where I find Susan reserving a taxi. You sit with her until she, and then once she leaves, you walk to the coffee shop parking lot to your own Cadillac. The driver doze off in the front seat. You tap the window, wake him, and then ask him to take you home. You rise the next morning, pat your still thinking that eager to walk, and then you see the fire scale you priest nose on your shoulder. It's there as before, except that's now sighted than a perfectly circular vein. The machine market's growing. We need to talk about that. Okay, March came a lot faster than the other one. March finds Robert sitting in the rear more raps of a county through several basins. Tyler Browns, all exploited words. Yet has been lately been apparent that the funders real of Tyler Browns are hiding the disappearance of the some rise question personally helping investigating the problem. Not present in the flesh but visible on the widescreen are Electra Jones and Professor Nemesis. The two of them are sitting in the MetaHuman, presuming that they're watching the three of you on a similar screen. Okay, first point to discuss today is from Scared Electra, actually connected with research as well. A member of Nation, Gino Williams, has for time been keeping a blog of his day-to-day activities. Harley, grip reading, his style of life, his favorite place. Instead of cat videos to think of junk to declare, but lately he's started documenting his work activity, including photos of confidential equipment and processes. He needs to die. Taps the keyboard and the image of the monitor placed by such a stream. He hasn't intentionally taken photos of high security areas. Mostly it's just photos of him and a couple of room pulling over his, but the labs are on the background of each photo clearly visible. Nemesis, you know guys, what's he like? Nemesis leans back in his chair, He's bright, but not as bright as he thinks he is. He's experienced and full of optimism and ideas that will likely be eroded by a few more years. He works well, but he can be replaced. They pause then. I could discreetly leave from moving the company if you like. This is why we hire this guy. We believe we limit any damage right now. Julian nor anybody else can access the site. That's correct because of technical difficulties. The blog entry was only viewed a couple of times. We're sure that none of the photos were saved or copied. Another wrinkle, Julian Ziegler has been taking some time off. If we can take any official discipline action against him, the possibility says he can claim discrimination and opens up to all sort of legal complications. Ask Julian and give him a formal warning. Will let's remove Julian Cormier with general service packets. Lecture, make sure his colleagues know why. Professor, it's your department. Deal with the problem however you see fit. This unpardonable lecture, how you might discreetly make Julian disappear. Nemesis ogres, oh I will. You have a feeling you already know poor Julian's fate. Next month's evaluation, major ingestion to the homeless of America, of course. Oh, can I increase my enchantment? Yes, I can. Okay, so I do need to pump it in every month. Okay. Let's go to high risk. Next. Okay, so it actually shows me immediately. So yeah. Next month I will have, it takes, if it's going up by 20 each time, that's 60 points. Yeah, I have more than enough to finish that one. Okay. Conclude the monthly business. Alright, draws to conclusion. You say goodbye to Electra and Nemesis, breaking the connection with human territories. Later, you land on the capital of the Cayman Islands, Georgetown, and then 30 minutes after that, your internal flight of Little Cayman, one of the small islands in the territory. Why does Tyler Bunyan operate out of Little Cayman rather than Georgetown, you ask, Watson. The capital seems the heart of business interest there. MetaHuman values privacy, and so does the subdurance. Little Cayman is a tiny island, only about 10 miles long and a mile wide from the area, almost wholly green. The majority of the island is undeveloped forest. Tourists come here for the exit scuba diving and various other water spots. You land at Edward Burton Field, the island's miniskirt airport. Leads you towards a waiting taxi and climb in. Watson starts playing the situation in more detail. Taliban is a subnet of MetaHuman Corporation that we set up in Cayman to take advantage of the usual tax and banking exploit. It's a small company, just 5 people. Now we know for the fact that they've been diverting our money to hidden accounts. 2 of the employees usually are awaiting trial for that. I personally suspect that they were doing so with direct instruction from maybe they were acting on their own initiative. That's my job here today. I'm planning to shift through their records. If Mr. Leach will be kind enough to help me, Lisa, with Seattle. What's my job here today? Though I authorize the alteration of company, the head of the company, Mark Bunny, is known to publish report to me, and he's the sort of string bitch who won't give information you don't provide from him. But as CEO of his parent company, you're technically his boss. He has to answer to you, and I'd like you to find out if he's involved in this theft. If so, he has so far managed to stay calm. If they're any dirt on him, and he'd be able to find it. I guess it wouldn't be possible just to call him. There's a lot of nuances involved in this type of job that won't convey so well by phone what it wants to enter. Plus, right now, your office much is being fitted with anti-surveillance measurement to block out any technology or means of deterrence known to exist. The environment in there right now is a little toxic. This seems an excuse to pull you away from your desk for a few days. So, well, obviously Nemesis and Elektra are good because they're Elektra's head of security. She knows where not to be, and Nemesis is gonna be immune to magic, I presume, and he's probably gonna eat a guy. You know, I really regret doing that now. Actually, I just sent a guy to his death by being eaten. Cannibalism for the win. Don't do that. Don't do cannibalism. It's a horrible thing. Oh, my imitation and image went up. Probably because I just said screw all of you. Tyler Burns occupies half of one falling building that houses the island's post office and the car rental. Mark Barney is a puffy, overweight man with thinning red hair. He shakes your hand unearthly as you arrive. The seats him behind his desk. You note that he decided to wear a pair of denim shorts for this meeting. Then you begin the party, leaving the 2 of you alone. You regard Mr. as a few moments. He may be a thief or not man. You consider what question you ask him. Are you serious? I am. Do it. Fine. I didn't commit the framework. I have no damn part in it. You watch me. The truth is, you aren't very adequate at judging the deception of others, and you can't be sure one way or another. He's an American from New York, young, very talented, hardworking, but wanted to escape the big city life. I believe he can tell everybody because he sought an accounting firm permanent enough that he can establish a but that was far away from the big city. And Uther Chan, he's Malaysian. I didn't know him well, very much, although I'm sure he has room to come to the firm like Tyler Byrne, but he was planning to enter MetaHuman at some point. Did you get on well with him? Pretty well, I guess. On a little island like this, you tend to know people both inside and out. I've eaten with both of them at the Hungry Lizard a few times with the rest of my team. What was your reaction when you learned it? Shocked. Even when people you don't expect them to become thieves? Let's hear his version. I can't add much to the version you already know. The embezzlement was carried out by 2 employees. They were management with a handful of other companies and they managed to move money around swiftly enough that nobody knows transfers probably $4 million into their own accounts that were held and registered with people who only exist on paper. Yeah. Winston tells you he's be tied up for another. You wander around the yard and continue your interview more. Eventually, leader wants to transfer all the necessary over to Seattle for later pursuit. Should we investigate false against Boney? Keep in mind that such prayer and time consuming will lose face if the charge against the Of course, I get the money to go and punish. Won't sit well with me either. I have a feeling he's guilty. Let's see, what did he say us? He said he was shocked, but that's a common reaction that most people are going to say in that situation. The fact that he said seriously when I straight up asked him, most liars and stuff would kind of just straight up do it. I didn't think he'd do it. He didn't. Back of Bunny and Contra and the other 2. One doesn't seem surprised, but he says, I bow to your judgment in this final. We'll focus our efforts on Judge Gerbo and Uther Chan. After a few days, the time where you go back to your hotel waiting for the return, Leash has reserved rooms for you to place the village. Your room on the corner has outside on the other side. Is over GTC3. You're a far higher class of guests in the scooter than kayakers that they tend to fill his room. The one who leads the turn, the only restaurant on the island. It's a gosh tourist kind of place. Wants to key on the food, but Leash orders a huge burger. Made the point telling you how much you to join the then 3 return to your house. Suddenly, you hear a scream from the back. Awakening by Boghead, you slip by the mindlessly on the ground, face angle, and then the face quartered in terror, eyes wide and leaving you no doubt he's quite dead. And then you spot another woman, naked and beautiful, walking directly from the corpse into a line of trees beyond the city. As she reached the edge of the town, she paused a moment as the words your screening. Then she slips into the forest and is lost from sight. What's that? A shimmer spirit who lives to tempt the unfaithful. Savior, very devil. Then lures men with her beauty and then draws them close enough to see your face. For to look upon her is to look enduring. No matter when we can see such a living thing and live. He looks down at the man on the ground. This was just one of the tourists from others, I think. It was only a short time away from you. On this thing alone would be foolish. Wait, so as long as we don't look around its face, we're good. Could we catch this thing? But if we wait for a team, it might be too late. Is there anything like... Screw it. We're going to fall on this thing. It might kill me. I don't care. Bravely and perhaps quite unwisely, you and Leech take a couple of flashes from the and follow if the creature is truly to blame for the into the forest. Leech's army knows he's carrying a semi-pro Siege Pro. How did you get them plane? I didn't. Mirror sent ahead to Atlanta at Georgetown. That's usually the case when I travel. You never know when you need to hunt another horror-faced woman in the dead of night. The two of you made good time to the forest scene. You bring no attention that you surround. You're drawing close to your target. Ask permission to approach. In case it doesn't attack you, rather the tension in the air, you send dissipate, the creature's gone as if it's never there. Not quite infringed, but you chuckle. The Shroud is fair for the time being. You wait until morning to inform the president, who tells you that the Shroud's potential handling it over tomorrow will turn a boost to magical hero. That the Shroud is potentially magical, handing it over to Richard will certainly boost the team magical team in the direction he wants to steer. Yes! Patient's favor. The more superstitious inhabitants are overjoyed to be free of the term. Him and you personally are celebrated as the saviors of the island. Did that increase our image? Yes, it did. It increased our image pretty good. The next afternoon, you fly out of Georgetown once more, and you take your seat after a brief show. You summarize that your returning office in the mirror is starting to feel more and more like going home. You're busy through the rest of the month. Why have we not told anyone about the thing on your arm? You're kindling where the conclusion of the first quarter will be approaching time for the consumers to summon your friends so far, and you're eager to disappoint them. But you still make time to see a great medical about the mark on your arm. The going with it is slow for the moment. But you manage to comply with it. It isn't cancer, it isn't illustration. As April comes around, you begin to think the mark might be supernatural in origin and resolve as soon as possible. The next year, neighbors will be the starter during the monthly ceremony. The morning before the meeting proves particularly worrisome. You have breakfast with a mean aspiring pregnant who wants to renegotiate your company. At that, you invite the meeting to console, which only proves pointless because the counter has been your briefing. You turn to mirror in a foul mood as you pass through the room. Destiny lobby, one of calls you out. Dr. Sung, you have a visitor. You slow your walk to her. How important is the scale around 110 you ask? A little surprised that she's blown up to stop you. If I was to rate the meeting that's starting in a few minutes from now as an 8 if this is higher or lower. You really want me to see him? It's, hello Xavier. It's Senator, you never met the man who you ignored once. I have to give warning, the surgeons are coming. And they're going to... That's when Curtin's head explodes. Yep. So, in other words, the surgeons are coming and they're going to... Let's do some prediction right now. The thing in our arm is probably from these said beings. Meaning, me choosing the magical route may have helped, but I presume if I did the scientific route, I would have a scientific problem on my arm right now. I don't know what happened if we picked the middle route, guy. Is there a fool's day and you're standing in the library, your face, clothes are splattered blood, brains and a bit of bones. Erica has just died in front of you and one of his head burst open like a skeleton. Just where you wish it was there a fool's day, but such a garnish curve cannot be possible. Such students are busting around me. And they are still most of them have witnessed real death. Those who did not least notice the children had watched the room. A little curious, you realize and just will panic you unless you see what's here. You just hope. No one gets in or out of this building. It's a canny movie in your attempts of focusing on the possible death. Plus, it's true the camera must work might still be among you. Unfortunately for you, there are really face man in the face of burning outweighs the defense for your leadership. Other people's one man faint, many rush for banging against door. You can them make outside where the cars and everything. Ah hell. Shut him must have been no other way because such current. You glance later, no purgatory. The shot must have come from sight, yet you see no other. As he hears burn in 8 armor, they fan around the room. The car has been shot to kill you. You can tell her as he kneels suspect cars, the killer is somewhere inside. And then, with surprising rapidity, one burst says, "We found a bullet lodged in the wall behind." He points the spot down the near. Search the body. For instance, you kneel, you open tray and there says truck pocket. You find a throw 20 button on the end. If you're trying to secure it, you don't know why a multimedia power source or boot will carry such screen. It's weird. Another person who enters the room, one person takes on names, what other person runs back on checking his person, one is actually going to assist each person's position. You note that Renzi is searching everyone's presence, no it's from. Who found the boat? Once again, you note that large and low, not high above your low. Even with Kara's head might have been diverted in the chair, you realize the boy. You glance in the window, mentally tracing the, and there your eyes rolling across. Could that have been, in that case, it's strange the bullet didn't break the glass between the 2 points. Okay, so it was a combination of science and magic, obviously. Metahuman Terror does a guest compartment for your personal use. Should you wish to say you never stayed here, but you're going up there now and shower off the bloody mess. When you turn the light off, you hear the phone ring, you grab a tone answer. The press of cat went over him, they asked for information so far, our comment is answering no comment. Tell them we'll give a statement by midday, you said, hoping you decide by then what the statement is. As you speak with a letter, you open the door to your and find it very close. In your size, leech works, no doubt. There's more. The majority sure has learned Kerr's murder as well. One of them will be here within an hour to scissor. So you finally get to meet one of the bosses. Simanguru, when he arrives, spends several minutes inspecting the scene of murder. Kurzweil has to move away from now, but Gara squats down to the end of the wall. Then he speaks with the trainer on duty, asks her a question about Kurzweil and precisely what he says. Then he reviews the search video much 4 times he watches with a flicker very much across his face as scream. Apparently, he instructs you to follow to your own office. He lets you take your own seat to sit inside watching. He is physically quite imposing, tall. His hair is white and grown a little long. And he is handsome, though one side of his face is marred with a live red burn mark that covers much of his neck. One side black, you notice him. I say nothing for now. Zero eyeballing each other. Finally he says, fine, I'll go first. I visited this room occasionally when Israel sat behind the desk. Do you ever come here in those days? No, I only met the man today. And now you will never will again. You redecorate the office as much as personally possible before. I've been too overcome to go shopping for office artwork. Curran was a thief, Curran said sharply regarding you again. He betrayed my hand so over and sharply. We wanted him, but we didn't want him killed. We never have been so blunt or done so uncomfortable pride in full view of all. If we managed to get our hands, his fate would have been far worse than you imagined. You said Curran, but once in the kid accused me, that's how you pursued me the job. Leverage. Now I want to discuss reforms. The first is the company. I don't care if you run this company with tendency or an iron fist or whether your employees are here or caring. I care about money and power, and I care about this public image because impact people's willingness to deal with the company. The general point mass the great force. Why is not to anger them? And how do you rate my job? Poor. Consider this warning. Change your ways or bring this company to ruin. Do that, and we shares will ruin you. Your second point. The company sure is the most beautiful indicator of success or failure, and your performance has been disappointing. I hope for a greater deal. Given the circumstances, this are true, but I'm going to consider not difficulties. I hope for much and much more improvement. I'm a toying on the increase of investment and pressuring the others to do the same, but I ultimately decide not to. You have yet to prove capable of handling the extra, and this would therefore be an unacceptable risk. My final point, but worse current is not scheduled to die yet. He should have been ours to interrogate, to torment, and ultimately kill. His fate has been robbed from us. And that represents a single vision of the companies by force we can identify. I ask you, who responds? You or one secure room? It's very noble to fall into, but if you find responsibility, there's a similar factor in evaluating of you in December. No. You are needed decisions should not be done. Defend yourself, then. Why are you not responsible for this death? Was a wild card and early impossible change. So too was the son of murder, one of more extreme. You explain how specific unfair could not have been prevented by general measures. Eventually he shakes his hand and holds up. I heard of you. I have heard you out. I've listened to every one of yours, but I'm not convinced. His fate has been denied to us by your current and lack of perhaps certainly we will discuss for again true. With that suddenly alone, you being over that at the end of the year may not go off for you. Who gives a fuck? You postponed the April 2nd meeting for take several days later. President, besides your Monsignor, would or believe taking the minute. Professor Nemesis sent a message ahead saying what earlier at first on the list doesn't concern you decide to proceed regardless. First point for today is my problem on defining finance, said Watson. You note he skipped over the mention of Senator goes written. The situation is this. A spat is taking two places between senior is John's immediate boss, keep that in mind. Now urgent having been on for 18 months until a few weeks and split the Amsterdam Gunvary Thero. It is concerning some mistakes were made by the whole thing is right. So I transferred word and he can hand their car. Sounds like French. I thought so. Justin, he says in your role it's less challenging, less responsible, and is damaging to her. He threatens to contact his union rep if we don't approach him with some sort of serious bar. Sticky. Our side of case is strong enough to stand criticism. I don't respond with us. Fabricate is evidence of gross misconduct and fire. Should I just go the make everyone disappear that I don't like route? No, that's not good. Yeah, let's do this. Are you up to there? But of course, we come to the same point on our agenda. Under Aaron Kerr's death on our premise is big news, and police want to details of work here in order to determine the motive of death. The media wants to give us more conversation than the we gave before. So far, you haven't mentioned the detail. Given that Kearns died here and was convicted for embezzlement, I guess the police consider our opportunity spending his murder. It wouldn't be wise to open. Of course, we can't tell them anything about magic and ultra high tech nature of our work. As with breast only, I don't know what to do with them. You look around, reminding you that all these people work for and incur for a better part. Yet today, their oppression of their death had hurt them. They shouldn't have sent. The police have frozen pending more information on his alleged embezzlement. He has no real kind of relation with being able to track down his distant and didn't know him personally. If you wish we sent a representative. Let's make the donation, yeah. Can we pay off a few judges and pleaders so that they don't pry into our work as much as press? And schools without compromising our work, yeah. With order permission, I'd like to organize a donation. I'll sign whatever check you want to write. And then a smile, provided you don't go too crazy. Someone who knows has yet to write, you set to move on this month's allocation. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't have a lot. But luckily, I had planned. Ready? This month, I'm just going to focus everything on this. You will soon be given option to receive this energy, so if you wish. This month, I'm just going to focus all my points on this stuff. Does he was 6 points? General things. Yeah, I don't need that stuff. You know what? Let's go, because I have the points, let's go high. 5 points. Fortunes of interference in the rear, or assets are lost, I don't care. That's only 5 points. Conclude. At last, the meeting joins close first, enters the room, he smiles and gives a nod, then to the table, thanks for joining us. You know these last few we become customary headed arriving on time for meeting. I was late by this, he fished out one time and puts this is the table that killed him. I hope you remember to wipe it off. Among other things, I also learned that this fresh, or rather a bullet designed for his first pistol rifle. This bullet was fired from a phase rifle, a weapon that deters from it fires then recons in environment before impact. Since your rifle can fire through solid orders to damage them and hit a person on the side. We do. The phase was created by MetaHuman. It was the design of Kara O'Brien last year. It is in fact one of the products that are currently which business for selling development. This bill is marriage, some components are unmistakably ours. Our senior kill him. The rifle missions are on her. I would have to get someone within this company. Our students meet the servers, some of our highest security protocols in the world. Yeah, I want to worry about the arm. It's definitely magic. It denotes some sort of ability. It's enchantment sword. What the ability of is, I cannot say. Where did it come from? Who is closer or equal to my own? Other than that, I cannot say. Can you hear it? Almost certainly not. It attaches itself to your soul. I doubt that even amputating the arm will get rid of it. Magic trick like that. You have no answer to that, so I'm sad. The good news is I can't see anything mentally from here. You're saying the mark is a positive thing? Maybe, but look at this way. An enchantment to kill someone is easy to create and fast acting. This, whatever it's doing, is far more complex. You've been focusing a great deal on your research and enchantment. After a few days, you learn that new enchantment is ready for implementation. Hello? I'm here, waiting 1 minute. Suddenly a bright light. Damn, it's still blurry. The image is blurry and you notice the room lights up under the curtain. The problems with Legend serve it. He says point to a silly monitor projection. I've been trying to get a clip register for days. No dice. Even hard at work in here. Nothing that prevents me. Nothing that affects don't work. It's strictly for breaks. Now that I'm currently waiting for recent enchantments, and the secret prisoners are benefiting from the department. Let her know it. Yeah, because we wanted you runs by. That's the only one I have so far. The reason to connect the ritual grants you the power of Hex of Arc Servant Enchantment. It has to be beneath the open side symbolic. Ideally, a center will be help, but an altar source of a prayer will just do. How does it feel? This should stun a Higglepith, he says. And yet it feels quite pleasant. You raise one hand and let your partner root intensely. You feel sure you can fire the power of fragrance if you choose to. You abstain for now. So, in other words, we are electrical power now. After 200 people are here was born in Kerr. You listen, he has a family there and has no church birth for near decades. He is therefore given a simple service at the last view cemetery in Seattle, his home for many years. Watson gives a short speech about current life and experience that working with him and him. You stand, listen, Erica and her husband Duncan, who cries the curtains lower into the ground. After service, you walk to the other department. You notice that a handful of journalists and media types are there. Carol was serving media personality in Seattle for a long time after all. Quite given the working with the media to prove him. The media was respectful during the service and discreet. Many of the new person you aspire among them. If she has seen you, she doesn't get attention. I stand by the grave for a little bit. With the recursive return, you step with the grave and look it down. This is my nerve Ford, who decided that you were suitable to run in the men's company liquor at this moment. You sent over to contain his mortal reigns. You give a great deal of wasting. At last, it's time to leave. The ceremony workers are waiting to fill the grave and lead to return to the car. Resolve is going up. Leadership is going up. Image is slowly going up. Intimidation is going up. Moral is low, which I don't really care about. Then one evening, your comes to your office and knocks on your door. Do you know I can lip read? Without waiting for your answer, she places a laptop on the screen and plays a video. He talks about the stern so the curves are visible. He said he came to warn you. You never mentioned this to us, or do you, sorry? Why did you tell you when I had more data on the subject decided? You know, I'm awfully a lot better job when I have all the permanent information. Anyways, I learned a match 8 days ago, so I've been looking for. Have you discovered? Yes. She puts in and indicates you should open. You do, inside is a flat black object about an inch long, vaguely triangular but quite irregular shape. What is it? As far as I can tell, it's a fingernail. The man who sent it to me said he has a whole human corpse to sell us, an alien he called a surgeon. He said he wants an awful lot of money, and he only wants to do. Is he for real? No doubt about it. When do we leave? Runs a diner a good 3 miles away from Seattle. Why could it not be Roswell, New Mexico? That would have just been perfect. You leave the next morning with everyone taking the Cadillac and T-Over short distance behind you on the road. You dump between among the things you receive and of the San Jamber, the man in Watson's department who threatened to rather disappointed Burns is still alive, but rather familiar with him. He had finished your shot and escaped disappearance for now. He was tipped off from who knew him. You have to look into the failure. The original of this intent hit had appeared on life. Fortune American images far above. So far, these are claims. Did that hurt our image? No. even though his rumblings are right on the money this time. You find out that the man who claims to hold the coverage here, whatever that might be, runs a diner in a quiet town called Vanconville. At which you instruct the team to wait a minute or so up the road. You and she entered alone. Dr. Song, Miss Jones, when you should diner closed until lunch. Folks, hygiene spot check. You interested in the corner and propose your coffee after being drinking, so test the image I sent you, Jones. You know I've got a bona fide alien shirt outer space man. This is how I got him. I found him pure and simple. I was seeing one of my night lights. Minding the walk, I do that, and happened across the shiny black fellow, just within the screen in the alley, not far from here. So I go to help and see what he, but then of course when I get a bit closer, I step back because it's pretty disgusting. He squares and pain. Those bastard long nail surgeons, those filthy, they got their filthy blood inside of me. In other words, to that effect, then he dies, as I figured, coming like, as he pronounced it, metahuman. Well, they're gonna pay him something like that strain. That you're the commander at any rate. But you notice the to be some you start off me off with the cameras. CRP deal with that. What you think? Just I hit doesn't know last stream. This isn't the only camera here. You can either drag me along with me before you give me next thing. I want the money sitting in my bank account touch before I tell you where I hit the thing. Oh yes, 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 yes. His whole system's fried. Yes. That'll be nice and pay him. Having lost much of market increases to a much lower price than we initially started at the last, you shake his system, bringing him the pay will be in his spring by the end of the day. He assures you saying as soon as get money. Become a career, well, mostly. What did that do? Or will this one up from that? That was so worth it. His shooter's worst in location and a refrigerator storeroom from you sent a team to retrieve it. It's vaguely human but horribly warped from its sprout. Knife-like claws, a crazy part of its seem not there. Every few minutes, parts of the body disappear, nor are they merely invisible. When the parts form away from you, never takes the pen out and passes through the vendor. Just a second later, they form wholly solid. This is one of the surgeons that Eric can warn you and was killed for doing so. And if it is dead, yet it exists here on Earth. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop after this.